Hey everyone, what up? Mad Kaiser here. Now I just want to give you just an update regarding the status of my channel and what I'll be planning to do so, as I have some ideas and ambitions, and since we are at now 2025, I just want to go over through them just to give you an idea of where I'm going next forward in the next couple of months, and also the matter of what I plan to do. So I want to get this right out of the way. And first up is that I've created a brand new Patreon. Now for those of you who are familiar with Patreon, you will know it's a special kind of website where it does help support creators like me and other bigger content creators. Well, they just provide them support and get special bonus, perks and whatnot, like things to, help support creators by donating. Now, right out of the way, I'm just going to say this up front, is that you do not have to go to Patreon to do, you don't have to go to Patreon. I mean, I appreciate your support by obviously, just liking, watching, and commenting on my videos. Like, that is good support. But the thing is this is mainly for those who want to provide at least a little bit of extra support. Like, again, you don't have to do this. This is completely optional to you, but if you do want to provide at least a little bit of extra support, then feel free to head up to Patreon. Now I created 3 tier listed members, just 3 tiers, which will be just for ones I think are decently priced, and you'll also be getting like things in return, because obviously with Patreon not only are you going to be supporting me, but you also get lots of interesting things that I got for you in return if you do follow me on Patreon. Now, let's start with the tiers. The first one, that being the lowest entry level tier, will be Honorary Kaiser tier. Now, for around $2 Australian dollars a month, or $1.25 US dollars from your region, what you'll be getting is of course the big one, that being shoutouts to the end of my videos. So whenever I end a video, you can be seeing yourself on the credits itself. You can be seeing a special thanks to my Patreon supporters. You can be seeing your name at the end of my video, showing that you've supported my channel, and you're gonna get yourself a big shout out for that. So that's something to obviously keep note of. The other thing I also have is that you'll be providing early access to some of my videos I got installed, like that involves whether it's news on certain games, demo impressions, just special updates, and discussion topic videos. Like, I have some videos in mind that I want to discuss and talk about, just some very interesting discussions that I want to also mention. Another benefit you also have is like sneak peeks and like behind the scenes of my videos. Like, once in a while when I make a video, I'll also do like a special like mini edit where I'll show you the process of making some of my certain videos, so you get to see on how I do the magic, on how I work with my Mad Kaiser magic. And the other thing is also you're going to get a higher priority when it replies. So if you're a Patreon member and you do reply on YouTube, I'll reply to you first, so you can know that you've supported me on Patreon and you're going to be noticed. So that is something to also note on. As well as I'll also be providing status updates in general regarding both Patreon and my channel. Now the second tier is the Lyle Kaiser tier. Now for around $5.50 Australian dollars, which is roughly around $3.43 US dollars, you'll be gaining everything that was mentioned from the last tier. Like, you'll be getting everything from that, plus bonus full early access to all of my videos. That includes even the retrospectives, the reviews, everything you have from my videos. You'll be getting early access. So if you might see my videos way up ahead of time, then feel free to do so. I mean, this is something that you will be getting. So I think having combined what I got for the Honorary Kaiser tier, as well as just full-on early access to all of my videos, including my big ones, that'll be for you if you do become a Lyle Kaiser tier. And for my last and final one I have is the Maddest of Kaiser tier. Now for around $9 in the Australian market, as well as which is roughly around $5.62 US dollars around there, you'll be getting everything that was mentioned from both tiers combined. Like obviously, as I mentioned, shoutouts, I mentioned early access to all my videos, sneak peeks, priority reply to YouTube contents and status updates. But you get a very special bonus, where you yourself on Patreon can recommend me either a non-JRPG or anime video that you want me to do a full retrospective on, like the one I did for Fairy Tail the anime, or just any game that you might have on your mind that is like non-JRPG related. So for example, if you're a fan of Sonic, if you want me to do like a special Sonic retrospective on Sonic Frontiers, Generations, Colors, the classic Genesis games, I'll be willing to do that. If you want me to do like an anime retrospective on things like Gurren Lagann, Eden Zero, as well as maybe Attack on Titan or One Piece, even though I'll obviously have to watch those animes, except for Gurren Lagann because I already watched that, or Code Geass, then feel free to do so. Or if you're a fan of games like Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005, the Transformers Cybertron games, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, as well as even Burnout Revenge, all of those kind of games, feel free to obviously pull up, suggest me on that if you do become the maddest of Kaiser tier, which is pretty much what I have in store. So that's pretty much for it. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. This is obviously an option, but also the fact that what you'll be getting outside of those perks is you'll be providing me with a little bit of support where I'll be able to use that kind of money to obviously invest in some games, as well as better hardware, editing software, and equipment, as I do like to one day just upgrade to what I currently have, maybe buy more advanced editing software that has more interesting tools I can use to make my videos higher quality, as well as maybe invest in a better microphone, and obviously get a lot of some of the games I currently missed on, because a lot of nowadays the games are becoming a lot more expensive and I don't have time to buy them all like I used to in the past few years. So that is something to consider, and if you do support me on Patreon, you'll be willing to provide an amazing service. I'll be able to get some of the games I probably missed on, the Romancing Saga 2 remake, as well as Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and other things. So that is one of my big things to note, is that what I have for this Patreon. Now we move on to the second bit, and this is just for a general plan. Now, let's move on to my other section, which is what I'll be doing else this year. Now, first and foremost, obviously, the one that you probably are waiting for a while now is working on my belated 1000 subscriber specials. Obviously, I'm still working on that. Obviously, I have two in mind, that being one big Q&A special, and the other one being one big special review of Persona 5 Royal. I'm planning to have both of them, released close to close, so you get one about the Q&A and one with Persona 5 Royal back to back, so there's a good balance of momentum rather than waiting for one thing to happen and for the other to happen months afterwards. So I want to have both of them ready as soon as possible. And the other things I plan to do is obviously finish up the leftover games provided by other publishers. Obviously I still have Metaphor Fantasia on the pipeline, as well as Fantasia Neo Dimension, as well as Fairy Tail 2, which I've actually completed. I'm actually currently doing a review of that, though I might save it for later when I also review the first game, where I might be even doing a double review of both Fairy Tail 1 and Fairy Tail 2 in one video. Then there's also Samurai Warriors 4 DX, as well as Octopath Traveler 1, as well as the Monster Hunter Stories Remaster, though hopefully I plan to do a review of that sometime around when Monster Hunter Wilds comes, to save us for a big occasion. Other things left is that I've got some games gifted by some good friends of mine from my community. That includes Persona 3 Reload and Episode Aegis. Thank you, by the way, Super Playtender, for that. Thanks for that. as well as I also got Eastern Nordics, as well as the Dot Hack GU trilogy, which I'm also going to do a review of that someday. Like, I'm definitely going to be playing some of the more games that have been gifted to me by my fans, given to my community and my mutuals, just to say thank you for that, and we'll honor them in a sort of way for that. Other thing is, obviously, I do want to do more retrospectives. I've already done with Dynasty Warriors, and I do want to do more with other franchises like Atelier and whatnot. But I also want to do retrospectives on games I already played. Like, you've seen on how many content creators have done like reviews, like big spoiler reviews of games, when like a game has reached a certain like year or milestone, like 3 years later. I want to do that for some of the games I've reviewed on. Like, I might want to do one for Tales of Arise, since it's nearly almost 4 years since that game came out, which is crazy. And also, I probably want to do one for Grand Blue Fantasy Relink or Fate Samurai Remnant, those kind of things. Other things also is that I want to also do some more deviations with my content. As while I'm enjoying my JRPG content and reviewing JRPGs, I kind of want to branch it out and review a little bit more other genres. The other genres I want to tackle in a bit most would have to be the Warriors franchise, let alone the character action games. Like, I want to review a lot of those, that genre of game, that being like the Warriors Muso titles. Like, you're gonna see that soon with Dynasty Warriors Origins. But other like character action games, like I'm planning to review like Ninja Gaiden, like the upcoming Ninja Gaiden, 2 Black that's just been dropped, as well as Ninja Gaiden 4 that's coming out soon. As well as I'm also planning to play and review Ninja Gaiden 1 Black and also 3 Razor's Edge. Like, I'm going to do like a big marathon of the Ninja Gaiden series, mainly the 3D ones. Maybe even throw in Rage Bound when that comes. But those, I kind of want to deviate just for my JRPG content, because I obviously do want to branch out. Like, I don't want to just make entirely just centered around JRPGs, so it's gonna branch out to just having JRPG content as well as action game content, if that tickles your fancy, if that's something you'd be interested in. Like, I might do some for other games, but who's to say. The other thing I always want to do is open up to doing more Sonic content. I mean, you guys really loved my video where I talked about on why Sonic deserves a proper JRPG, and it got me thinking of doing more, Sonic-based content. I mean, I used to do that when I began my channel about nearly 8 years ago, so I plan to return to do Sonic content, and thanks to a fellow YouTuber, called J-Man, who did his review of, Sonic X Shadow Generations, as well as even talked about why Sonic means to him. He's inspired me to do more Sonic content, so I'm gladly able to have the inspiration to do so. If you guys want me to do more Sonic content, feel free to do so. I have some ideas of what I want to cover with, and maybe even collab with some other YouTubers. And obviously the other major things I would have is making more discussion videos. I'm actually inclined to maybe even do a brand new series I'm currently working on, where I analyze on certain divisive, controversial, and polarizing titles and see if they deserve their reputation. If you watch video series like, say, I'd Hate Everything's The Search for the Worst, Diamond Balls Ruined Forever, or Harbo Holmes Defending the Despised, those are sort of videos they kind of make where they analyze on what is considered to be bad and if they deserve it or whatnot. That's what I kind of want to do. Like, I have an idea of what game I wanted to talk about first. Other things really is just to also maybe focus on also talking about like some sales and discounts. Like, given the fact that I obviously probably influence a lot of you to buy those games, there's a likely chance that some of the games I'm looking forward to or have played a bit too expensive, and you obviously want to find, good value for your money, and you want to find what games you want me to recommend for you guys, play, that kind of things, I'll do that. And lastly, I think we also want to talk about doing some occasional special videos like reviews and retrospectives on particular non-JRPGs, as well as anime. Like, as mentioned, my Fairy Tail anime retrospective did really well, and I'm inclined to do more. I got one for Eden Zero in the pipeline, but I also want to do special videos on non-JRPGs that I have an attachment to. That is what I really want to do, so hopefully I'm going to plan to make those sometime in the near future. And that's it, really. That's pretty much my plans for 2025, and obviously, as you know, I just have a Patreon open, so if you'd like to support this channel further, please go on to Patreon and support me there. Mad Kaiser out.